Now, one team that has been clawing back a gap, not a small team by any means, one of your former teams, McLaren, they have been the regular challengers to Red Bull, in particular Lando Norris, over these past 5-6 races or so. Norris seems to be the only one who can get close to Verstappen during most of these races. But I wanted to ask, what do you think, how long do you think it's going to take for them to get back to the forefront of F1? And by that, I mean winning races regularly, because newer fans may not know, but McLaren are an extremely successful team in terms of their wins and championships. Like when I was growing up, they were the team to be around, and I want to see them go back to them glory days. But how long do you think it'll be until they can realistically challenge for an F1 championship? Will it take till 2026 when these regulations changes are happening, or could they do it sooner perhaps?
I think actually, like, next season is the golden time in many ways, because, you know, they're catching up at such a rate that if they can, you know, go through the off season between this season and next and take that next step under the regulations currently, that might just be enough to align themselves with Red Bull and take the fight to them. Yeah, the combination between Norris and McLaren is a formidable one at the moment, and definitely given Red Bull and Verstappen something to think about. It'd be nice to see Piastri, you know, step up a little bit more as well, and as a team develop together, because two heads is always better than one and a much faster rate of progress. But I think, you know, if anything, next season would be the one that they really need to focus on in trying to get a championship assault. And it doesn't just stop there with driver and car. It also goes to the extent of the whole team getting that world championship mentality in place and, you know, understanding what their consistency level is to take it. So you're right. Historically, McLaren has been, it's not, I think Ferrari may be the most successful team in Grand Prix history, but McLaren second, might be wrong there. But yeah, it would be good to see them back to the glory days, and it would be fantastic for us to, you know, see McLaren's name back in the winner's circle at the very, very top.
Absolutely, yeah. I know you're right. Yeah, they are the second most successful team, depending on how you define it. Some people might say Williams because they have one more Constructors Championship, but if you go by wins and a few other stats, I think Drivers' Championships as well, it's McLaren number 2 overall. On that, with the driver combination for McLaren, if I can just touch on that for a moment. Obviously, Lando Norris is doing incredibly well. I feel like his tyre preservation is probably the main differential right now between him and Oscar Piastri. But it is, especially in heading into 2025, where Red Bull have already signed Perez for next year and the year after that as well, I believe. Is that driver combination of McLaren's good enough to win a Constructors' Championship? Because I would argue, if you average out the two drivers, they've potentially got the best driver combination on the grid. I
think you're probably right in terms of the strongest combination, because I do think Piastri has got a huge amount of talent and ability, and I think it's just a matter of time before that confidence just builds to the next level and he hits home with a sweet spot with just getting the car to work to his liking. And I think he'll be right alongside Lando. So I think, you know, there is a bright future, and I think the team can probably see that, hence why they're re-upping on their side of things to go to the next stage. But, you know, I think it's a nice balance as well as McLaren, because they've got youth and experience now of Lando. And I think, you know, that's a great thing to nurture. But what they've also got is hunger. That hunger and passion there is going to be the stuff that drives on. But you just have to make sure that Lando, in his role at the moment as sort of the team leader, is also evolving in taking the team forward from a pressure point of view of making sure that he gets what he needs to get the job done on the circuit and do it over the course of the season. And, you know, that takes a little bit of doing and a bit of experience. So, you know, the likes of the Sennas and the Prosts of years gone by, and the Mansells, and now, you know, the guys like we had, the Schumachers and everything else, their strengths were outside of the cockpit of a Formula One car as much as what they were inside it. And I think that's what's going to take, you know, with inside McLaren to drive it on and get the most from every single person there at Team HQ.
Yeah, I think they've absolutely got the potential for that. I'm with you on that one. It's a big step, but once they've took it, I think the momentum could grow from there, really.